Hamelto, and welcome to the Mikalon Podcast. It's week number 3, a podcast for the most exciting, most violent, most compelling game in the world, the sport of Mikalon. And you know what I gotta say, this week did not disappoint whatsoever. And as we always do each week, we get right to the action, because the game is all that matters in the game of Mikalon. So, we'll start out with two teams. First game of the evening. You think if you're a fan of one of these teams, your season's toast. But you know what? This game couldn't be any more compelling than it already is. Because guess what? We got the Gorjan Dragons playing a visit to Anar. And these two teams have something in common. Yes, they don't have a win. And also they have something else that's very common. Together, in the 4 games that they've played, these two teams have lost by a total of about 400 points combined. So, going into this game, holy smoke, yeah, the tensions were high. The team that wins, they get a victory, and the team that loses starts the season 0-3, and guess what? The woes continue for Anar, who drop this game 116 to 106. A close, tight game here, and they lose by 1 bloody Katano. Wow, yeah. This game won by Gorjan, probably due to the fact that Curly Barnabani, 4 Katanos in this match. Everybody else, including very vocal Drake Beck. Yeah, just with 10 points in this one. Gorjan, much more motivated in this one. With London Chatbert and Neil Laskin each picking up yellow cards in this one for excessive violent play. Gorjan, Altera, Jackson Truman almost didn't make it to this game at all. He was late for practice, and as a result, guess what? He played, but he sat on the bench for the whole bloody thing. 0-0-0, no Katanos, no Ristat, no Baisha, nothing. He just sat there. The coach there kind of giving him a message. And guess what? Gorjan wins anyway, because the last time Anar played, they didn't even get 70 points total. No one on the other side really accumulating anything worthwhile. One thing of note, the Dallas went missing before the start of this match. I don't know what the referees were doing before this match started, but they lost the bloody Dallas. But they were found by Anar Altera, Andy Trainer. I don't know where he found them. Maybe someone was deflating them. I have no idea. But maybe Anar should have made sure that they stayed missing, because even the missing Dallas couldn't help him in this one. Gorjan picks up the first win of the season. Moving on, Icosia in Dalash to play the Scorpions, who are 2-0. And guess what? Dalash put up 153 points in this one. They beat Icosia 153 to 125. Notable in this match, Corbin Womack with 3 Katanos, and Marnie Johnstone with 10 Ristat in this match. Icosia, not really putting up much worth a while. Very balanced attack, but they still lose in this one. Icosia player Ashton Aiello received a yellow card in this match. And also, just like the last match, I don't know what the hell's going on here. We have camouflage Dallas because they went freaking missing before the match. But Dallas player Marnie Johnstone, who really wanted to get going to start killing people, wow, did he in this match. And he found him. And wow, Icosia go down. Dallas improved to 3-0. Wow, Icosia player Larry McMaster after the match. Dallas fans, I don't know what's going on here. Your team is really, really good, but you pelted the anthem singer again. I don't know what the hell's going on here in this league, but we need some improvement here from the fan behavior, because Dallas fans, you pelted the anthem singer in your own hometown. And you need someone from the opposite team, Larry McMaster, to come out and say, what the F you doing? Crazy. Dallas win. They're 3-0. Nicosia dropped to 1-2. Next match. This one looked like a really intriguing one coming in here because both teams were 2-0. Imperia Scimitars taking on Lach. Wow, and the way that Lach looked in these first 2 games of the year, they dominated defensively, offensively, and in this one, I don't know what happened, and they go down to Imperia by a score of 170 to 159. Imperia, Moore Scudder, 3 Catanos, Harrison Alston, 3 Catanos. I mean, for Locke, Jock Charette, 3 Catanos, William Meller, 3 Catanos. I mean, even defensively, Locke on this side. Khalil Claudel, 9 Ristat. Candy Farnetti, 8 Ristat. We had 3 yellow cards in this match. Pretty crazy. Imperia Duxa, Alessander Harris got a yellow card because he got into it with Locke players, the Altera, Alan Adam and Carmelo McCall. So this thing was pretty heated, but Locke did not come out to a good start, and they go down in this match. I mean, relatively close by 11 points. So, the Imperia flight to get to Locke almost didn't get there. And Imperia player Chris Hines was tweeting about the progress of this match while he was on the plane. And I didn't think that he would get to play this game. But as we well know in Mikalon, delays can be common. Locke, for some reason, doesn't show up. They go to 2-1. Imperia, I mean, no slouch, but wow, like 3-0, not what I expected from this team. I thoroughly expected Imperia to have a couple losses going into this game, and guess what? They're undefeated so far, making next week very intriguing. Next, Caledon, the Blitz, taking on the immortal Farrakot. This match, even before it got started, was delayed due to a lightning storm, and you want to see a man that's scared. Marty Hagar of Farrakot looked very, very scared, but did put on a pretty good performance there. And also, Caledon started this match, guess what, with the wrong bloody uniforms on. I don't know what happened. There was a mix-up, and the wrong uniforms got sent with them on the plane. And guess what? They showed up in their very, very unfamiliar green practice jerseys instead. So very, very strange look for the Blitz. Yeah, and by the way, Farrakot, who started the season with 2 very close matches, have a match today that was the closest that we've had thus far. This match went within 6 points. Farrakot pulls out the victory in this one, 189 to 183. The difference in this one, total Ristat. Unbelievable. For Farrakot, Frank Viano and Gilbert Ratchev, who's looking like one of the most valuable players in this league. 3 Catanos, 9 Ristat, and a yellow card. Wow, I don't know. That's what they call like the the Gordie Howe hat trick. If you got some Catanos, some Ristat, and the Tosha, that is unbelievable. For Caledon, Oscar Zenga, looking like he's the MVP of this team so far. 4 Catanos, looking very, very good. No major injuries reported. I think Gilbert Ratchev, yes, like we said before, ended up with a yellow card for some rough play. And Oscar Zenga and Hunter Ross of Caledon picking up some yellow cards in this game. So, Farrakot getting on the board in a division that is underperforming, but very tight nonetheless. Moving on. Lev, the sad sack Lions of Lev, going in to play Imran. And in this match, Imran, we thought the last match was close. Imran wins this match by 3 bloody points. And the final score was 187 to 184. Totally close, incredibly tight game. Chris Trail, 4 Katanos in this match. For Lev, there was a couple players with 3 Katanos. Travis Valencia, Silas Coffey, and North Melican. Wow, they ended up with, they fall short by 3 points. In this game, Lev Altera, Bondi Reed ended up with a yellow card, and Corey Vignali of Imran got a yellow card. They got into a skirmish during the game. This game was a very, very tightly contested match. Lev Duxa, Travis Valencia, for some freaking reason, he blames the loss of the game on underinflated dollars. I don't know if he's fucking joking, because this is a fucking joke, right? It's a joke. There's no way you can blame a game on underinflated dollars. Maybe overinflated dollars. I mean, I understand that you're a little pissed off, the fact that you've lost 3 straight games, but wow, man, come up with a better fucking excuse than that. Underinflated dollars. Really bad. In addition to this, Imran player, Lo Ang, he was hiding because this game was delayed due to, once again, lightning. But Imran, they improve. Lev, wow. 0-3 on the season. Moving on, the even sadder sack, Shalos Swarm, coming into Lasara, who just last week picked up their first win of the season, and Shalos continue the ways of bullshit as they lose 154 to 106 to Lasara. Jack Ith, who's looking very good this year with 3 Katanos in this match. And on the other side for Shalos, no one doing jack shit except for John Holmes Galucho, who picked up 3. Shalos, Duxa Borg Linehan, and Lloyd Warfield got into it with the referee. And the ref carded them both. Good on the official. In addition, for Lasara, Morgan Schur, he got on the internet and openly criticized the city of Lasara, who criticized their team. I mean, wasn't it like fans from Nilon 2 weeks back who said that we should be beating Lasara by more points than we did? And up until that point, Lasara had no wins on the season at all. Now they've got one, and the fans are still opening up the can of whoop-ass on this team. I say, you know what? The season is long, and you know what? It's looking okay. It's looking good. It's looking optimistic. You're looking at playoff spot now. You're looking into getting into Wheel of Fire. So I wouldn't complain. Wouldn't complain at all. It's amazing. It's amazing the people that complain in this game. And for the reasons that they complain. We're 3 freaking weeks in. 3 freaking weeks. You know what? You could be Shalos. 0-3. You could be Anar. 0-3. Negative 250, score differential. So, I mean, yeah, pick your battles. In addition, pick battles. It was John Holmes Galucho from Shalos who helped clear the field of birds who delayed this match. Wow, that's amazing. Next one, it's Straforia. Coming in to play Asshole Town Nilon, and this time around, guess what? Nilon prevail. We'll talk about the statistics in this match, and then we're going to tell you about what could have possibly caused this game to go so wrong for Straforia. For Nilon, it was Vince Howitt and KC Snapper with 3 3 Katanos each, and Stefan Grice with 10 Ristat in this match. On the other side for Straforia, 10 Ristat for Lord Matthew. 3 Katanos for Sebastiano Guarnieri. But before this match started, Straforia player Dave Scarry arrested. We don't know exactly what the reason was for his arrest, but he missed the game and did not play. As a result, this game could have turned around very, very bad for Straforia. And based on the fact that they lost this game by 16 points, this could have made all the difference. When you see your friend and teammate taken off in the police car, it's not a good feeling. In addition, Krol Vitkovic of Nilon got a yellow card, and the fans of Nilon, again, they have started a petition online because they hate the owner of the team, Odette Schiavanotu, who they call that bitch that we want out of there, and Marquette Weaver, player for Nilon, says, yeah, I signed it, we need a new owner. Jeez, the assholery of Nilon is not exclusive to the fans. Next, the powerhouse, Nasheva, coming into play so far, undefeated Treg. And this team from Treg looked really, really good for the last 2 weeks. And this week, I don't know what happened. They forgot to play little defense in this match, and Nasheva puts up, and I'm not exaggerating, 22 Katanos. 220 points in this match. They beat Treg by a score of 220 to 184. Drex Kipling of Treg, 3 Katanos in this match. For Nasheva, everyone got in on it. Elon Putterman, who we thought last week had the game of a lifetime, he did it again. He's got 4 more Katanos. Shinsuke Katayama, who surprisingly did not take a beating from anybody, fans or insects, this week. Shinsuke Katayama, 4 Katanos. Dudley Kajdan, who does almost nothing at all. Dudley Kajdan, 4 bloody Katanos in this match. And Dharma Divine, looking like a premier defensive player, 9 Ristat in this match. Surprisingly, nobody injured permanently in this match. Dharma Divine of Nasheva and Marion McBride of Treg, they got yellow cards for a fight that they had in this match. Treg player, also Marion McBride, he was criticized by his team owner, Frank Turci, for his racy Instagram photos. He said it was totally unprofessional and inappropriate, but that's what happens when you take a nude photo of yourself with money, in front of your junk. So that's what happens. But you know what? The drama does not end there. The stadium in Treg, as this match was ending, the stadium caught fire afterwards. I don't know what the extent of the damage is this time. I know that we're going to be hearing from D'arcy Demello, the commissioner of Mikalon, about the Gorjan fans and the fact that we could be having an empty stadium match. I mean, Treg could be having a no stadium match because, wow, you should have seen the smoke billowing out of there. And the amount of plastic seating that they have in there, I don't know if there's going to be any seating left in this thing. Like, this is a bad tragedy for Treg. Bad. Because they got some pretty insane fans and a pretty cool atmosphere there in Treg. And I don't know what they're going to do here. They're going to have to play away games for the rest of the season. We'll see. Because they're putting out the fire as we speak. Nasheva beats Treg. And they get a loss. They get a loss. First on the year. And I wasn't expecting that to come to about week number 5. Let's move on. Tibaroth takes on Norcon. And Tibaroth, I mean, talk about teams that didn't show up this week. Norcon lose to Tibaroth 159 to 139. Great performance here by Tiburoth. Great performance. Overall, good team cooperation here. Nate Taft with 3 Katanos. 8 Ristot by Dev Diwali. Norcon not mustering very freaking much. And I have no idea what happened. Except for maybe, the weather had a bad effect. It was very rainy. I mean, really freaking rainy. It looked like a lake out there. And I don't know about the history of Norcon star Kurt Michaelis. He'd been leading the league in scoring so far, and he appeared to be quite hampered by this bad weather, even though he seemed to get 19 points out of this game. But we'll see what happens there, because, he could just bounce right back. Norcon could just bounce right back, Good teams bounce back. Shitty teams, like Anar, don't seem to bounce back at all. They fall flat and stay freaking flat. Tiburoth, Altera, Jamie Gilmore. He was suspended by the club for 1 game for unbecoming conduct. I don't know exactly what happened there. We've had a couple players show up late for practice, but every team has its own procedures for dealing with said thing. He did not even travel with the team to Norcon, and so as a result, Tiburoth still won this game, but Jamie Gilmore Altera did not play. Tiburoth pulls out the surprise victory here in Norcon. And on to the last game of the evening. It's Zontier. Winless Zantier taking on 2-0 Cillian. And Cillian, pull out the big guns. They win 201 to 164. Cillian with Mike Blythe. 3 Katanos in this match. Almost everyone getting in on it. Tunter Huerta, JJ Syverson, Neat Cogs, Bello Hess, Eduardo Steven. Like almost everyone got scoring in this match. Pooh McCarthy, worst name in Mikalon. Eduardo Steven, 8 Ristat each. I mean, for Zantier, no slouch. They put up 16 Katanos in this match, but cannot frickin' compete at all. Cillian, they start the year 3-0. Now, that's good news for Cillian, but the bad news for Cillian is that Altera Armando Chiodo, he suffered an MCL strain in this match, and he's going to be out 3 weeks. We saw what happened with Imran, and they've been down a player now for at least 2 weeks, and they have at least 13 more weeks to go without him, but this is only a 3-week injury, and the way that Cillian's been playing, I don't know if they're even going to skip a beat here. Not going to skip a beat, but every time you lose a player, you never know what the effect is going to be, and Armando Chiodo is the Altera in this match. In addition, Nate Cogs of Cillian got a yellow card, and, well, the first victim of the coaching battle is Virgil Bardignon of Zontier, and he was fired after this game. Zontier starting the year 0-3 and looking very unimpressive doing so. So, he is gone. No words as to who's going to replace him yet. On the other hand, Cillian player Kane Anselmo put out a really bad tweet after the game saying, we kicked his ass out of there, something like that. So we'll see what happens if Cillian suspends him. So it's the week of suspensions, people getting arrested in stadiums, catching fire. That's it for the games of the week. We're going to look into the standings to see exactly what's going on here. In the Holtox division, Nilon still holds that one up 2-1. There's a couple teams, Farakat and Icosia, they're 1-2, and Zontier and Anar 0-3. This is the sad sack division of Mikalon. Next division, the Kaltash division, Cillian still leading 3-0, Tiburoth 2-1, Norcon dropping to 2-1, and Lissara and Straforia each with 1 win and 2 losses each. Moving on to the Soroka division, which Dalash and Imran starting 3 wins and 0 losses, each looking very, very strong. Treg, a team that you expected to be 3-0 at this point, they're 2-1, so this is probably one of the most dominant, most complete divisions in Mikalon. Underneath there, Gorjan and Caledon, each with 1 win and 2 losses apiece. And moving on to the Arroya division with Imperia leading 3-0, Nesheva 2-1, Loch 2-1, and Sad Sack and Sadder Sack, Shalos and Lev, each totally winless thus far. In the scoring, it was Free Gilliam who had a really good week this week. He's taking over the scoring lead. That's Free Gilliam from Nesheva, who's put up some major points in the last 3 weeks since the season started. Pretty crazy, pretty insane. Coming up right behind him, Kurt Michaelis, having a very mediocre week this week, but let you know just how dominant he was. He's only 1 point behind Free Gilliam. Other than that, we have a real big log jam. Rob Donoff, Travis Valencia, Nate Coggs, Ivan Kavich, Zantier, very, very close. There's Alexander Farner, Cameron Baptista, Elon Putterman, who started out the year, being not to be expected as being a very dominant player on this team. And he's in the top 15 of scoring in this league, letting you know just how important it is to have good line mates. Elon Putterman looking like a powerhouse in this league. Now let's move on to the Reaper Award to see who is leading with the greatest number of Ristat. And now this week from Nesheva, who seems to dominate offensively and defensively, it's Dharma Divine from Nesheva with 25 Ristat. Finn Warily from Icosia, 24 Ristat. Ravi, Cutter, Gilbert, Ratchev, looking like he is one of the most dominant players overall in the game of Mikalon. 23 kills. This big logjam here, so it lets you know just how close it is, and the parity in the game thus far. So that takes us to the first commercial break. We're gonna sell some merchandise, and then we will be back for the mailbag and to wrap it up for this week. Kam susita kitara, e metalita hula, Wojciech Tobola, Lunita mito Mikaletano Sogen Heched, Bo Shibusi Gorjanu, Bo Tirafik da Straforia, Pe de Sixinta Albuma, Apocalyptic Inferno, Puntim Visnotech. Kiohek, Vacha, Air Canada Center, July, Duita, Kioek, Aile Tio. Hey, welcome back to the Mikalon Podcast. Your home for the most exciting, most violent, most compelling game in the world, the sport of Mikalon. And just before we get to that long-awaited press conference from D'arcy Demello, because he's about to speak, we're going to talk about just a few of the things that have gone down here this week, and a lot of crazy things have happened. Oh, he's about to speak? Okay, we're going to go right to it. Here it is, D'arcy Demello from Straforia, live.
Good evening. First and foremost, I want to thank the Mikalon fans. Without you, the sport of Mikalon would not exist, period. I also wish to thank Philip Skimolto and the city of Straforia for their hospitality, truly a world-class city and organization. I wish it was under better circumstances that I speak to you today, but sometimes responsibilities such as this, responsibility can be very underappreciated. I have lost much sleep over what I have to do today, and it is not without a heavy heart. I've learned that you must take the good with the bad, the heartache with the triumph. So in the spirit of expediency, I will not be taking any questions whatsoever today. It is purely the roar from the lion's head. In the true Mikalon spirit, there is no rebuke to the judgment I pass down today. There are no appeals. This is our way in this sport. 2 weeks ago, fans in Gorjan attacked the anthem singer. He was hospitalized. So far, we have been unable to track down the perpetrators of this assault. Rest assured, it was a crime. This musician suffered head injuries and now suffers from post-traumatic stress. I've heard from his lawyers today that he is going to press charges. So there is only one thing that can be done. I cannot blame Mr. Principe for seeking justice and his suit against the Gorjan Dragons. I'd also be inclined to pursue my own justice as well. We thought this behavior was an aberration, a violent, perverse aberration, but an aberration nonetheless. However, the next week, Gorjan fans and Imran jumped the barricade and attacked Bernie Tully. A fan interference such as streaking, harassing opposing players has always been a part of this sport. But what is not part of our sport is thuggery, wanton violence, and outright assault. Using one's fan allegiance as a perverse excuse to attack men playing a game is cowardice, and quite frankly, it makes me sick. This is not the first time fans have jumped the barricades to go after players from opposing teams. This will stop immediately. We take great pride in our game, but these actions will no longer be tolerated. To the city of Gorjan, Mr. Milovsky, and the Dragons organization, I must be forced to do what is necessary to protect our fans and our partners in the sport. This coming week, Gorjan will host Caledon in an empty stadium match. In addition, Gorjan will forfeit the year's receipts, which amounts to 2.5 million toil. And make no mistake, it's meant as a punishment. It is not to be taken lightly. Field security will also be beefed up as of immediately, league-wide. No exceptions. Zero tolerance for attacks on our players. I've just heard that a similar incident of assault has occurred this week in Dallas, and I'm putting the Scorpions organization on notice to keep your fans under control or pay the same price as Gorjan. In addition, I assume now we've all heard about the stadium fire intrigue. Thankfully, nobody was injured, and I haven't heard any estimates of the damage or how long before the stadium is playable. We'll have to wait at least 24 hours for that. We're not seeking alternate sites, adjusting the schedule, or booking a substitute venue at this time. My thoughts go to the fans of the Horde, Frank Touris, and the team ownership. This is pretty stressful. No questions. Thank you to the city of Straforia for this. Cambasso, good night.
D'arcy Demello, everybody. Is anyone really surprised by that at all? Gotta tell you, not really. I thoroughly expected this to happen to Gorjan. Thoroughly. I would have called for that from the beginning. And I'm thinking, man, if you're Dalash, you're next. Buddy, you're next. So, that lays the smackdown on that one. I mean, and as far as the streakers are concerned, it's fun and all. It's fun and all, but maybe they got to beef up security. Maybe what D'arcy's thinking about here might be a little bit draconian. But I can't blame him. It's a violent game with some violent frickin' fans. So, couple major things happened this particular week. So I'm just going to go over them in short, and then I'm going to go right to the mailbag before we wrap it up this week. The Virgil Bardagnon firing in Zantir. Is anybody really surprised by this? And how is it that the guy in NR is still sticking around? He's still sticking around. You know, the guy in Lev. Those Lions of Lev, not roaring very freaking loud. We'll see if maybe that guy is next. So we got about 4 teams in this league that have not a victory between them. but not as bad as things are for the rebels in Anar. And Virgil Bardagnon looks like he is the first victim in the house of cards that could be starting to fall. So we'll see what happens there. Could be interesting. The arrest of Straforian player Dave Scarry, and we don't know exactly what he was guilty of, but teammates saw him carted off in chains. So that definitely affected the play for Straforia. They missed him big time. Jamie Gilmore of Tiberoth suspended by the team for conduct unbecoming of player of team. And I've seen some pretty crazy stuff. Who is it? Which team was it? The really crazy tweet of himself holding the money on his crotch. Whew. You know, that's pretty extreme, man. That's pretty extreme. But we saw the same thing, and a few years back with a player in Las Vegas with the piles of money. Very insensitive to the fan base, who obviously doesn't make as much money as the players, and him playing Mr. Stretcho with the money is not the most appropriate thing to be doing. We'll see if the hammer comes down, but each team to their own. They all have their own policies, and I guess if you lose 3 games in a row, you're fired if you're in Xantier. But if you play Mr. Lifto with money, I guess you might stick around for a few more years. And the stadium in Treg. Is this not a tragedy? I mean, we know that with the firecrackers and the smoking in the stadiums and the really rowdy fans with the alcohol, you would have thought with the amount of alcohol that is flowing in the stadiums that maybe a fire wasn't possible. But, yes, as the fans were clearing, a fire appears to have started, and we don't know if the stadium is a total loss, or if the stadium is not a total loss, how long it will be before we can play. So we will know this by next week after the fire marshal comes in and does an assessment of the stadium. So we're going to go right to the mailbag. Right to the top of the mailbag. Here we go.
You got mail.
At Real Piero Barone. He's back. Yes, he says, during my time is in gambling, yeah, you can refer to me as the number 1 booker in Mikalon. I've had a success rate of 89% calling of the games. And that game between Anar and Gorjan was the fix-in. Let me tell you something, buddy. I don't think anyone is surprised by the fact that Gorjan beat Anar, but I think everyone would be surprised by how close the game was. I think it was inside 15 points. But Gorjan has had its problems. You know, the controversial figure, Drake Beck, who's been harassed and assaulted. The attitude in that town has been severely affected by the losing in that city. So the fact that they didn't beat a team that I thought they were much better than Anar, like, I mean, on average, on the whole, for the entire season, I'm not really surprised by it at all, is a fix in. No, I don't think the fix was in. And then he makes some comment about Dalash Imperia. What do you think about that freaking game? And I'm inclined to take Dalash, Piero. This team has looked very, very good. Although Imperia has really surprised with that crazy win over Lach this week. So, do I think that it's a lock that Dalash is gonna be the first team to be 4-0 in this league? No. Could Imperia pull this off? Yeah. How would I judge this? Maybe it's a pick'em. And then the email goes on for another 4 or 5 paragraphs, when do you think the official gambling on Mikalon is going to begin? I think the official gambling on Mikalon is going to begin probably after the first season is over, probably in the second season or so, because I think you well know as well as I, Piero, that it takes some time with some statistics to figure out what the tendencies of this game are before people start losing their freaking shirt on this sport. Like 1 week a team scores 69 points, 1 week the team scores 19 points, 1 week a team can score 200 points, the next week they can be blown out by 150 points. So yeah, there's a lot of statistics and things we have to look into, but I'm looking forward to it as much as you are. But as far as gambling under the table, you're free to do so. Just don't get caught.
You got mail.
Here's one from Mad Dog Terracani. He says, fuck this Gorjan and fuck Anar and fuck Lev. These teams are Rima, they're Kaifa, and let's talk about some good fucking teams instead. You know what, Daniel? I couldn't agree freaking more. We spend a long time talking about these sad sack bullshit teams that we have so far. There's 4 teams now without a win that have lost by a combined 800 points. And maybe we should be talking about Cillian, who, honestly, may be the best team in this league, period. We got Imperia, 3-0. I mean, that's a great team. Dalash, 3-0. Imran, 3-0. So, yeah, are these good teams? Could these teams be losing at some point? Every team eventually loses. But who's looking good so far? I love the way this Cillian team looks. I know our friend Nick that likes to call in each week about the uniforms. He might agree about this team. The team with the crazy uniforms that play incredibly well because the uniforms scare the shit out of the opposition. Oh, and look at this. It's Nick Jaloshai.
You got mail.
Hello, Nick. Wow, he's really, really big this week. With this email. And it says, I'm really digging these Straforia uniforms, these nice navy, white, and yellow uniforms. He says, just the uniforms makes me want to be a fan of this team. That is really cool that Straforia sold some merch to Nick Jaloshai. I know he's not buying any Gorjan merchandise. And he says, yeah, I really want to support Straforia a lot, but I really don't understand the playoff system. How does it work? Is it possible that my favorite team will not get into the big show? And let me tell you something, Nick. Right now, Straforia is in last place right now, but however, Straforia is 1 game out of 3rd place. And in Mikalon, the top 3 teams in each division get in. The bottom 2 teams don't make it, regardless of record. So right now, Straforia would be out of the playoffs. The first place team gets a bye for 1 week, and the first place team and the second place team, they play other teams from other divisions in elimination games so that they can qualify to play the teams with the byes. That is how the Mikalon playoff system works. The Lula Tirafiach, the Circle of Fire. Yeah, those Straforia uniforms are really, really good. But in terms of what I would be concerned about, I would be concerned if I was, say, Gorjan or Caledon. Because right now, Dalash, Imran, and Treg are in the Shiroka division. And they are running roughshod over everybody. And unless these guys can pick their Visnat off the floor and get it under control, they are going to be eliminated quickly from playoff contention. So, and then he makes a little joke here. Oh, yeah, those Caledon uniforms, ha, 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 LOL. Yeah, pretty brutal. But it happens every now and then.
You got mail.
Here's one from Shimmy Shamwow. Not his real name. It says here, players should shut the fuck up about what the anthem singer sounds like, and maybe they should try to do it themselves. You know what, Shimmy? You're absolutely fucking right. These players, they have no right to complain unless they can sing it themselves. I can't even add that to anything to that, Shimmy, Shamwow. I can't add to it whatsoever, because that makes total sense. I'd actually like to see some of the players go up and do one of those choir things, singing the Anthema Mikalonita, because it's a great freaking anthem, and somebody should sing it without someone trying to eviscerate the person trying to do it. And we've had, so far, 2 anthem singers, one in Gorjan and one in Dalash, severely injured due to flying debris. And it wasn't an accident, and we've had numerous players criticizing the talent of the singer. So, yeah, you know what? As a musician myself, I am sick of this shit.
You got mail.
One last one. Seriously, this is the guy's name? I am Asshole Town. We got an Elon fan here, and he says, are you going to sign the Odette Scavanoto petition to get that bitch out of here? Okay. Listen, jackass. I'm not going to sign this bullshit petition because your owner is not the problem. Your fucking team with its shitty attitude and your freaking fan base with its fucking assholery and fucking bad demeanor is fucking, it's a problem in this sport, okay? So, what you can do is you can take your little fucking email and your little fucking hashtag and your fucking attitude, stick it up your fucking ass, because I'm not signing the petition to get rid of Odette Scavanoto, because she plays these players pretty freaking well. And so far they're playing pretty decently. I have no reason to get rid of her. Unless you can find some kind of scandal. You know? Unless you find out she's a freaking, rabid racist or a Trump supporter or something like that. Some reason that we can get rid of her. But, yeah, at this point, yeah, this email is bullshit. And I hate to end on bullshit. But that's how the cookie crumbles. This week, incredible week, my friends. Incredible week. We had like 4 teams starting to go 3-0. The Anar Gorjan battle for futility. We had a player arrested. We had a player suspended. The stadium in Treg caught fire. The commissioner brought the hammer down on the fans of Gorjan. So, next week is looking up for sure. With some games that I will bring the ones that will be most interesting to watch. Farrakhat and Anar expected to lose again. Dalash will play Empiria to see who can stay undefeated in this league. Caledon versus Gorjan. Lach versus undefeated Imran. Icosia versus Lev, who can't seem to put one game together. Norkan trying to bounce back against Lissara. Nilon versus Nesheva, both teams 2-1. Tibaroth against Shalos, who really sucks horribly. Treg, who is playing on the road, luckily, because right now it looks like they have no stadium, against a team that doesn't look like they may lose all year. Cillian. And Straforia takes on Xantir with their new coach. So, that is it. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you all next week. Cambaso and good night.